In 2025, politics just feels really, really fake. I don't know if you've ever noticed this thing, like when we scroll through the news, it all just feels like deja vu all over again. You've got the same headlines, but different names. You've got the same outrage, but just even louder than before. And the truth is, we're actually not imagining it. Politics today just feels really fake because it kind of actually is fake. Not fake like your conspiracy theory, but fake like a script, fake like a game. It's now this distraction that's actually designed to feel real enough to actually pull us in, but not real enough to actually change our lives. In this episode, it isn't about actually, choosing sides. It's actually about pulling back the curtain on the stage. Because in 2025, this year didn't just bring us, better microphones and shinier campaigns. It actually brought us peak performance politics in the worst way possible. And we really need to talk about it. Especially about the fact that politics now has turned into what it shouldn't become, and that's a theater. When people say politics is just a circus, for me that's not an insult. That's actually an observation. You see, in 2025, politics has actually become less about solving problems and more about, producing content. It's now about the left versus the right, patriots versus the traitors, masculine versus the feminists. It's now just drama. It's now just conflict. It's now just about clicks. And honestly, I hate to say it, but it's actually working. You see, you've got candidates now dropping campaigns like, campaign trailers like they're Marvel movies. You've got activists talking like they're influencers. Outrage now is being monetized, and those debates that should be, or rather used to be, based on ideas, a war of ideas, or philosophies and policies, well, they've kind of just become this episode, these long 1 hour, 2 hour episodes in this never-ending series. I don't know if you remember those back in days, like back in the 80s, 90s. Yes, I'm that old. Like even Netflix these days don't even do that sort of stuff. And this isn't random. This is actually entertainment disguised as governance. And the worst thing about it is that we've actually become the audience. And you ask yourself this question: what's the engine behind the drama? Because whether you like it or not, there's quite the engine behind the drama. Because you then we have to ask ourselves an even bigger question: why do they keep the noise going? And the answer to that is the fact that distraction now equals profit. You see, every tweet, every heated clip, every viral moment, it keeps us on the hook. The more divided we are, the easier it is for them to actually sell us solutions that never solve anything. But let's ask ourselves even more questions. Why do the media companies never run out of fear to sell? Why do corporations donate to both sides or all sides? Why do politicians scream at each other on TV, but yet they shake hands in private? And this is not hearsay. This stuff we've seen in pictures, we've seen on social media, we've seen the videos and all behind closed doors, in the galas and the meetings. They're all laughing, chumming, happy, drinking buddies, and what have you. Sometimes they even go golfing together. And the reason for all that is the fact that division is now the new currency. Because to them, forget the dollar, forget the pounds, forget the Swiss franc or the Kuwaiti dinar or whatever powerful currency there is. Their new currency is division. Their new product is conflict. And our rage That's just good business. Because there's this thing that just sustains. Okay, like how you have oxygen, like air, that sustains our life. Our life and all. There's this thing that sustains this engine of theirs that they don't want us to see. Like the way we're not allowed to see air, unless maybe there are dust particles or something. There's this thing that actually sustains the engine that they don't want us to see, and that's the cycle. They don't want us to see the cycle that we're in. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed the fact that we're actually in a loop. Because 1 week it's a scandal, the next it's a viral tweet, then it's a cultural war or some firestorm, and then they repeat it all over again. It's kind of like that whole thing of eat, sleep, work, repeats, or rather eat, work, sleep, repeats. They're doing it but in a much different and more sophisticated and efficient way. At the end of the day, behind the smoke, the mirrors and all that gibberish, you have things like food prices that are going up faster than our age. We have wages that are staying flatter than some people's, or should I say some weird people's theory about the earth. You've got rent that's becoming so insane it should be in an asylum. And then you have people being burnt out, being anxious, or even disconnected. Or worst of all three of them. Truth is, we're not broken. Truth is, the system just isn't built for our peace. It is built for our reaction. And the solution for me is the fact that we need to unsubscribe from the noise. But let me paint you a picture. Let me let you know, paint you a picture of what happens when you unsubscribe from the noise. Because unplugging, unsubscribing isn't about apathy. It's actually about clarity. You see, when you stop playing team politics, you start to see the full board, whether it be chess, whether it be Go, you see the full game board. You start to notice the recycled narratives. You start to notice the timed outrage. You start to notice the coordinated spins. You stop to ask that silly question of who's winning and start asking, hey, the more important questions, like for instance, who sets the game? Who's profiting when we stay angry? What am I being distracted from? You see, unplugging or unsubscribing doesn't mean you stay passive. It doesn't make you passive. It actually makes you what they don't want you to be. And that is powerful. And here's how to move smarter in 2025. Because I always say this thing, there are two types of people. There are people that work hard, or there are two types of people that work rather. The people that work hard, and there are people that work smart. We've done the whole, we have this culture of working hard, and that's why we find ourselves in the hamster wheel. But we step out of that loop and start, moving smarter. In 2025, then things change. Because you don't have to disengage from politics. You just have to engage differently. You need to engage from a place of awareness, not manipulation. In 2025, you need to vote, and even onwards, not just 2025 onwards. You need to vote if you want to vote. You need to speak up when you need to speak up. But you need to do it with your eyes wide open and not with your eyes wide shut. You can't be doing this while you're in denial, pretty much. You need to stop giving your energy to performative fights and start investing in real action. start investing in real connection, and start investing in real clarity. It doesn't need to look, the truth is, it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to be awake. Not woke. No. Put that aside, guys. Put that aside. You need to be fully and wide awake. Because what you like to know, in a world where it's all this noise, or in fact, in a world where it's this noisy, being wide awake, that's already revolutionary. And they don't want that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is the Blunt Experience, a place where we don't do echo chambers. Here we actually do the uncomfortable truths. And if this has made you pause, if this has made you reflect or question things even just a little, then I really, really love and appreciate if you could share this, because that's how minds actually shift. And to be honest with you, this world needs one heck of a massive mind shift. I'm going to be doing new episodes every week, so I just want you to please support the channel by subscribing to us and liking this video, and most importantly, please do stay sharp, and please do stay human. Thank you so much.